Hi everyone, so I wanted to reroot this Bratz doll with a nice sort of pastel look. So what I'm using is some little cheapo colourful hair extensions that I got off Amazon. It's like £10 for, let me see, I think there's about 30 of them in the bag. And out of that I can actually do 2 dolls, so it's not too bad actually, price wise. Obviously I could buy, proper doll hair and saran and stuff like that, but it's expensive, so I tend to just use the cheap stuff. And what I do is I use my long doll needle, which you can get from any good art and craft store, and it's obviously a bit harder on the Bratz heads. You can warm up the head to soften it a little bit, but obviously you'd have to warm it up every so often to keep the head quite supple. So I just tend to manage as it is, with the head being quite hard. And then when I get to the back of the head, I tend to warm the doll's head up then so I can get the needle through, because otherwise the needle will go sort of straight in and doesn't come out the hole in the neck. And the reason that I go from the top of the head through the hole in the neck is so I can knot the end, because I use the knot method. And what I do is I put a little double knot in at the end of the hair. Now, because this is like a man-made fibre, I do find the knots come undone. So what I do is just put a little blob of hot glue on the knot and then just hold it for a few seconds, and then I find the hot glue will keep that knot in really nicely. And I'll give it a second or two to cool down, and then what I do is pull the hair back through. And you want to pull fairly firmly. You don't want to pull hard enough to rip the hair, but you need to pull it so that the knot ends up on the inside of the head, just like, just against the surface of the inside of the head. So you do have to pull it fairly tight. And I do this for the whole head, and it takes about 2 hours a doll, roughly, depending on the doll. It takes me 2 hours to do a Cindy doll. Bratz doll, I think it took me about 3 or 2.5, just because the head's harder. And then I tie the hair in a ponytail afterwards, and it looks like this. And then all it's a case of doing is brushing through the hair, and it brushes through quite easy. This will tangle, but if you're careful you can keep it really nice. And you can straighten this, but it has to be on like the lowest setting for the straighteners. And then it's a case of trimming the ends to get the ends as even as possible. This can, obviously I'm trying to show you on camera, so it's a bit awkward, but basically I just gather the hair down the ponytail, look for any bits that are sticking out, and then trim those off. It's easier with a razor, like an electric razor, or just doing it by layers with some really sharp scissors. And as you can see, so I'll hold it like this and then I'll trim through, but obviously it's easier to hold the doll between your knees to stop her like falling around. And I just take the hair layer by layer and trim it so it's all roughly the same length. And obviously you can do little upper like snips so it's not such a blunt end on if you want to. I don't mind the blunt end though, just as long as it's fairly even, like so. And because I'm going to keep her hair in the ponytail, I'm just trimming it while it's in the ponytail. So I've got a little electric razor and I'm just going to use that just to trim those edges. It takes a while though, if this is old now, but if you've got a new one it'll go through it quite quickly. And once you've finished trimming the ends of the hair, then the doll will look something like this. So there she is, she's all rerooted and trimmed. The hair sits a little tiny bit funny on the top of her head. What I need to do is dunk the hair in some hot water and then lay it flat on the head, but I can't be bothered at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. As you can see, you get this lovely rainbow effect, because what I've done is I've done sort of sections of colour going around her head, and you get all these little rainbow layers, and these are the pastel colours, and these are from the same pack that I did the Cindy doll in the background, but these were the more pastel colours in the pack, which I kept to do this Bratz doll. This Bratz doll started off with very short hair. She'd had her hair cut by the previous owner, so it was about time she had a reroot. So Yasmin now has pastel rainbow hair, and yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.